We've been to the folk event of the year.
Indeed.
Have we?
Well, I've been to... you've been to the folk event of the year, and I've been to see Nick Jones.
Yes.
No, you really enjoyed the thing with the World War One thing.
Oh, right. We're going back to that, are we? Yes.
Well, I wasn't going to, but that was what you very much actually considered the...
Okay. It is true that I considered Sam Sweeney's Made in the Great War, the history of his violin, possibly the folk event of the year. But maybe, because we've got the LP of that, haven't we?
Yes.
So maybe we'll talk about that.
Oh, yeah, we've actually got one lined up for talking about that, haven't we?
So
this one.
We're going well so far.
Hello, I am Clary Maguire.
I'm Andrew Ralstone. This is
Folk Buddies. And we've been up to loads of stuff recently, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. So, Nick Jones at St George's in Bristol. I was trying to convey to some of my friends at work who are not folkies, just Nick Jones at St George's in Bristol. I mean, sort of... I think I said before when we heard him at Trowbridge that it was sort of like saying, oh, and then Buddy Holly will come on and set. I mean, it was okay. Buddy Holly's dead, but
as I believe I said at the concert itself, it's barely more surprising than if Nick Drake came on, isn't it? It's.
So we have. You've heard him once before. You heard him at Trowbridge. I actually heard him twice before because I also heard him at the Cecil Sharp House where he got his medal for being Nick Jones. Mm-hmm. So say something about the concert. I mean,
it's a very warm concert, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, it's to try and discuss it just in terms of a musical experience is so the wrong way to go around it. Similar to Bob Dylan concerts.
Yeah.
It's not a bad concert just viewed as a concert. There are good songs.
Yeah, the Dylan comparison, and the Dylan comparison occurred to me, and there were a couple of the songs that Nick Jones was doing, probably the ones he knew less well, where I almost felt something of what people say about current Dylan. There's that thing of almost speaking the lines, and you have phrasing, but not a lot of singing. It isn't an analogy because, of course, Bob Dylan has pretty much consciously decided that that's the act he wants to be, where Nick Jones is.
Well, the thing is, even if Bob Dylan hadn't, though, Bob Dylan physically couldn't be the act he was when he was capital letters Bob Dylan in the 60s.
No, that's true.
But I sort of tell you, it might be a better comparison. Not someone whose name I can't remember.
How many words?
Mars Bars and Rolling Stones. Marianne Faithfull. I'm not going to explain it to readers. If someone wants to write in and explain that to Andrew, you can write at mail, M-A-I-L, at folkbuddies.co.uk, and we'll send you a small prize for explaining it gently to Andrew. But Marianne Faithfull, who have you heard old Marianne Faithfull and new Marianne Faithfull records?
Marianne Faithfull was very, very young in the 1960s and then took a lot of drugs.
Yes.
And presumably got fat on Mars bars.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Anyway, sorry, what was the comparison?
It means that they're basically two different artists, and they're both very good. I think I'm comparing it more to Bob Dylan than to Nick Drake, to Nick Jones. But they're both very good, but it can be a bit of a shock and even potentially upsetting if you listen to old one and new one too close together.
Yeah.
Because in the 60s, her thing was just having this very sort of Sandy Denny type high, pure voice.
Right.
Nowadays, she sounds like Dr. Girlfriend out of the Venture Brothers. She's very gravelly, very
I mean,
very sort of rock and roll.
and I don't think anyone would be, in that sense, shocked by hearing Nick Jones now, because you are, given that sadly, the fact of the accident
Yeah,
is the thing people know about him.
yeah.
I think you're surprised how much of Nick Jones there is still there, how much he's put it back together. Actually, I think the comparison, Jim Murray told me, and his 20,000 Twitter followers, that he said it's like very late. It's like very late Johnny Cash.
Oh yeah.
That the voice isn't the instrument that it was, but a lot of the personality and the phrasing is still there.
This is it. If it was, to be slightly glib, I think if it was someone we'd never heard of, if it was like a sport act, you'd probably be watching it wishing that the young fella would do more of the songs and stop his dad butting in, but you wouldn't be annoyed he'd brought his dad with him.
Yeah.
I think is
Well, okay. What I thought it was. There were songs that he knew better than others. He tried out a new one about the way. I think it started out as something. He'd written a song about sort of an old guy who goes to the supermarket and is sort of taken with the pretty girl behind the counter and ends up sort of spilling everything and making an exhibition of himself. And that, I think that started out as a song. I don't know his song, but he pretty much just spoke it. There were a few where he was resorting to speaking. But where he was doing the big ones, the big classic ones, where I felt he was singing them out more, Farewell to the Gold, I thought survived very well, and it's a fantastic song, and some of the ones he didn't do much of his slightly more recent new stuff, did he? We didn't get The Ruins on the Shore or Here and the Now or anything. He was mostly doing the old album stuff. The thing, obviously, when we've seen him before, it's been in short sets. This was 2 full sets, and it was just him and Joe, his son.
yeah.
Now, it is Joe, isn't it? Joe.
Yeah.
It was clear from what was being said that Joe doesn't quite regard himself as a musician and was quite nervous about singing. And I don't think it does anything separately.
No.
But actually, he is a fantastic guitarist.
Oh, exceptional!
He sounds uncannily like his dad. And so that I suppose maybe. I was going to say he's been ventriloquised. I don't. Maybe if Nick Jones has told him exactly what to do, maybe. He doesn't feel he could be in a band by himself working out his own arrangements. I don't know. This is pure guesswork.
Because we were trying to work out. We didn't know whether he does session work or what.
I believe not, but I'm not. But
if he doesn't, he should.
But that was great. But because previously we've seen it in the context of the Nick Jones trio, which has Belinda O'Hooley.
Yes,
isn't it? No, so the point was this was an hour, a couple of hours of just Nick Jones and his son on the stage. The father-son rapport that was going on, the banter was since I've heard from people talking about Nick Jones, other musicians, about what a character he was, in the 60s. Presumably it was one of the people who was in his group was the Halliard, wasn't it? I think it was one of those where Cecil Sharp House was saying that they used to have these long, in-depth discussions about things. If they were around now, they'd be doing podcasts. And one of them was in the course of one of these. Nick Jones says, "Well, I expect Hitler was really quite a nice chap." And forever afterwards, whenever they were engaged in a discussion, someone would just look at him and say, "I expect Hitler was probably really." But so that sort of he has this slightly sort of rambling stories and going off, and the sort of affectionate embarrassment that Joe was having, and the
thing about the Indian maids and the loincloths and
oh gosh, that was the song. Presumably that was introducing Portuguese, was it? It's a song about a sailor who washes up on a
No, I think he was doing Indian a song called Indian Maiden,
Oh, okay.
which is about an American Indian.
Oh, yes.
And he was saying about having been to India in the 60s and just did a long, rambling dad ramble about loincloths and things. And then you could just see, obviously, a lot of the teasing's kind of slightly put on, but there was the ha-ha put on teasing, and then the gradual, oh God, please shut up, Dad.
His introduction to Barrack Street, which, you know, we've heard Nick Jones sing Barrack Street live, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just great. The first Blackbeard's Tea Party album, when it was, I never remember the name of the guy who was the singer before Stewart. Was it Paul?
I don't know.
You know,
It's very nice, but it's just not Stuart.
But I mean, the notes on that because Blackbeard's Tea Party, Barrack Street, and it's based on the singing of Nick Jones. But we've heard Nick Jones sing it. I mean, I expect they have. You've probably been to York. It's probably been to York. But anyway, he says, well, yeah, this is a story about a sailor winds up in town. He meets this girl and doesn't go to well, but then, you know, they get married. Joe said, Dad, that's not what happens. You're introducing the wrong song.
But the thing is, it's something. It works really well just because I think you're almost more there for the feeling of goodwill, the feeling of being with like 700 people or however many it is, who are all just. I think I said this about the Norm Waterson one.
Oh, yeah.
They're just really pleased you're there.
Yeah.
I always think that when you were saying about the supermarket poem, which was genuinely dreadful by any. It was harmless, but it was real like parish magazine competition winner sort of.
It was, to be honest.
And the thing is, Joe Jones clearly knew that. Nick Jones was clearly coming round to that as he was reading it, but there was just this feeling of he didn't care because he knew the audience didn't care, and it was all right to do something a bit rubbish because it didn't matter.
So, highlight of the evening.
It probably actually was a swimming song for me.
Yes, it was the guy. You said it was the guy in the audience.
Oh, the highlight! Oh, yeah,
Yes.
actually, I've forgotten about that. Yes, that was definitely the highlight of the evening. He doesn't do proper encores, does he? Because
He takes the Jack Thackeray approach of that was my last song and here are two more.
yeah, and obviously because he's Nick Jones, the
So
thing
he
he does.
did both the big ones as encores. He did Ballon of Whalers, a fantastic song.
And of course, he does Little Pot Stove.
Yeah.
And brilliantly, last song of the evening, they start playing, and the first few notes of it strike up, and a bloke about 2 rows in front of us goes, "Yes!" And this lovely bloke who had just thought, oh, well, he hasn't done Little Pot Stove, but I'm sure I'll live.
Yes, it would be on a level of being really pleased because Don McLean had done American Pie or Raphael had done Streets of London, but it was
really adorable.
But, actually, I think the only thing I would say about compared with the festival atmosphere, he was encouraging people to sing along. He was, I think, in Farewell to the Gold, he just wasn't doing the refrain, he was pointing at the audience. But because St George's is definitely a theatre or a concert hall, I think they have filmed Glass this week. It has proper music. But that atmosphere. There wasn't quite the roaring, singing along. It was respectful. Only one idiot clapped when it came to the line "Penguin Eggs." Forget who that was. Both times I've heard him before, he says because it's sawfish and whale meat, sausage, and fresh penguin eggs a treat. And if anyone,
usually everyone kind of goes, "Ooh, penguin heads," so we know that.
Oh no, actually, just applauds or calls out. You see, and someone did, and no one else did. That's all right. That's all right. I've also been at concerts where I'm the only one doing the standing ovation. That was in Bath over the summer for Martin Carthy. I mean, everyone else was very keen, but I was the fool who stood up. But everyone stood up.
Oh yes. Who was never any doubt, was there?
No. So,
So that's been that's been the big event of the fortnight. You've been to loads of concerts recently.
I've been to a few concerts. Yay! I finally heard Ewan McLennan in a sensible venue.
Yes, I was
After
too
a s-
poorly to go to that.
After a sequence of there was the Ewan McLennan where it was only us in the audience. There was the Ewan McLennan in the pub with the football on in the background. There was the Ewan McLennan in the other pub where, actually, admittedly that time, about 10 folkies got to the front and strained to listen, but it was still most people. This was Ewan McLennan in the Folk House. They put it in the bar of the Folk House, but it's a cabaret style, but it was full.
Yeah.
I would slightly wished he'd been downstairs, but then it would have been empty. They could have taken they wouldn't have filled the downstairs, although they could have done it like Robin Williams did it that time and put them in a circle. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Everyone was listening. He quite early on in his set. I'm going to do one from the Little Red Songbook, better known or subtitled "Songs to Fan the Flames of Discontent," and it was Bags of Red Marble, of course, and everyone knew it. And he said it then, "Oh, you're an audience who likes sowing songs of discontent," and very, 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 very good. So, some stuff off the new album which needs to be listened to again and concentrated on. He has. He's done actually similar to the thing that Jim Murray did. He's been through the child ballads and found a long epic ballad that he doesn't think there's been a modern version of. And I have to say I couldn't completely follow it on the first hearing, but it sounds very promising. And he mentioned the reason we keep hearing him in small bars in Bristol is he actually lives in Bristol now.
Which is good because
he said he's hoping he doesn't pick up a Bristol accent because that will spoil him as a traditional Scottish folk singer. But almost as exciting that night, opening for him, although in fact, when I say opening, both they did an hour and he did an hour, so it was almost a double header, were a young pair called Jimmy Aldridge and Sid Goldsmith.
Oh yes, this is the Jim and Sid you keep talking about.
Jim and Sid, yeah. Their set was 15 minutes too long, but actually respect for that in a way. They're doing traditional singing to the point where I'm not saying that it was becoming parodic, but if someone was doing a parody of folk singers, they were the kinds of folk singers who people parody. It was nothing tricksy about it. Very beautifully done. We had they did a completely uncompromising 18-verse ballad version of the Bonnie Bunch of Roses, which was which is the one. It's when Johnny Cash sings about closing the coal mine. It's an initial. It's the A&E Don't Stop Here Anymore. Yeah, I used to think my father was a black man.
It's an unrelated comment.
No, in the song, the guy's only ever seen his dad coming up from the coal mine, but they closed the coal mine. Anyway, sorry. The two things which were absolute showstoppers was they do the Chemical Workers song. You know, the one, the young ones do it. They'll charge you every breath, and every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death.
Yeah.
Which was that fantastic song. And they did a cover of Chris Wood's Cottager's Reply.
Oh, yeah.
However, I don't know whether Chris Wood knows about this. I guess he does, because they probably have to pay royalty. But they hang on. They added a refrain, or the one of the lines of the song they keep repeating, so you better come in, you better sit down, becomes a refrain. And they folded some of the original poem that Chris Wood leaves out back into the song.
Oh, cool.
Chris Wood's song ends with the London's about 3 hours for me, but you'll do it. You'll do it in 2, which isn't from the original poem, in fact. And they put the 2 stanzas back in from the original poem, which roughly says that, but at more length. So I guess that's proper folk music, isn't it? Chris Wood's done a version of the song, 2 guys hear it, and they do their version of it.
And
And
there's a case to be made if it puts back a chunk from the original poem and is sufficiently different. There's enough to suggest that you could call it a readaptation.
Yes, there's I think there's still inflation going on. So I think it's up to £500,000 for the house now.
That makes sense.
Because in the original poem, it's you say you'll pay £2,000 for this old house and a bit of ground, and I'm pretty sure Chris Wood, when he made it, it had become £200,000 for this old house, and they're seeing it as £500,000 for this.
I think he does in concert as well. I don't know if he does on the original.
Yes.
But,
So
because £200,000 for a decent house,
Yes.
fuck all nowadays.
yes, it's a cottage in the Cotswolds. You get a lot of house for your money if you're living in the country.
No, you don't. Not if you're living in a non-horrible bit of the country.
Folk Buddies, we talk about music and we give you property advice.
Don't buy a property. It's all...
Don't buy property, it's horrible.
Everything is damp and you have no money ever again.
Oh, and the other thing I went to unexpectedly was the Folkhouse Bristol, and I only noticed this literally at the last minute, had Julie Felix. Now, have you heard of Julie Felix?
I hadn't until you mentioned her, but now I've seen the name everywhere.
Yeah, of course.
That terrible thing.
It was. This was a lovely evening, actually, because I was casting my eyes down what was on at the Folkhouse, and there was this name, and was sort of, was a Bob Dylan, Leonard Cohen, Woody Guthrie. I thought, that could possibly be something I might be interested in. Yeah, she's of that era. She's 70-something. Primarily sings other people's songs. I think she sings some of her own. Mixture of 60s folky standards and a certain number of... there's a song about there's a witch in every woman. The wise women with healing hands and all of this, and I think she may actually be High Pooh Bah in one of the New Age or Wiccan.
Stevie Nicks' vicar.
Sorry,
I said she's Stevie Nicks' vicar.
but not coming across on stage in neither in a ridiculous way nor in a forceful way. She did a couple of those kinds of songs. Put the whole of the second half into asking for requests from the audience. So we asked people to pencil requests in, and the overall tone of the evening could be very much summed up by the fact that there was going to be an encore, and people were calling out for things. And it's actually someone said, "Oh no, don't do that. Do Mr. Tambourine Man," which got another round of applause. And she said, "Oh, I was going to do Blowing in the Wind," which got a bigger round of applause. And she ended up doing a medley of Blowing in the Wind, This Land Is Your Land, another one about women with healing hands, and she had quite a nice line about when Jesus was tired, Mary Magdalene had to lay hands on him to him, so a woman healed the greatest healer there ever was, which I thought was not a bad little line. So that what did I say? This Land, Blowing in the Wind, the lady one, and Daddy's taking us to the zoo tomorrow. Which that was that kind of an evening, and she wasn't the most astonishing performer I've ever seen. She's someone who I think referred to Bob as if she knew him, and certainly when she was living in Greece, Leonard Cohen was an up-and-coming poet. In fact, there's footage on YouTube of a British TV show in the 60s when she has him on when no one's heard of it. So she's but someone of that background who's now playing small venues in Bristol. She's not a giant, but it was. Sometimes I go to something and I think, well, this is how I imagined a folk concert to be. A slightly old lady with a guitar singing songs about peace. And isn't it brilliant that New Zealand is nuclear free? That was one of her songs. Apparently, I don't know if it is, but it was. And it was that. I suppose someone horrid could have gone along and sent it up, but I was. The moment.
It does like the Nick Jones one. It sounds like it was as much a happening as a concert.
Yes, it was. But while a lot of the audience were clearly people who had followed her, and I wasn't, and I was just, I mean, okay, I didn't know who she was, but she was singing songs by artists that I like and so on. But yeah, no, I think a happening rather than a concert. Use that, that's good.
Ah, there you go.
It's a pity no one's recording this.
Before we go, hello, I'm Andrew Wilstone.
Hello, I'm Reese.
So, what did we do last night?
We went to a Bellowhead concert.
Now, am I right in saying this is the first live concert you've been to?
Yes.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you wanted to go to Bellowhead?
Yes, I did.
Why did you want to go to Bellowhead?
Because they are awesome.
How did you get into Bellowhead? Because I seem to remember not too long ago you were into some other folk group that we don't talk about.
Yes, Mumford and Sons.
Okay.
Yes. And then you played Bellowhead songs to me and I liked them.
I'm impressed.
Yes. Yes.
So what was the first Bellowhead you heard?
Roll the Woodpile Down.
Okay.
Yes. And I liked it.
Okay. What is it about them that you liked? Because hang on, I mean, I take the mickey out of Mumford and Sons, but if you've heard the programme, me and Clary always take the mickey out of each other's music. That's fine.
Yes.
But hang on, what would you say? What would you say? What would you say was the difference? What was the difference between Bellowhead and Mumford? Bellowhead are
Louder. Mumford and Sons are slightly more quieter and depressing.
okay. That's the way. Yeah, I mean, I was actually going to say energetic.
Yes. Energetic.
Mhm.
Yes.
So tell us about last night's concert.
Well, we sat down.
Yes.
Well, that does help.
Not everyone was sitting down. There was big.
No, there was, there on the bottom there was some standing where quite a lot of people were, and they were the sort of more lively generation of people who danced a bit and clapped.
Yeah, there wasn't that. I didn't think there was that much.
No,
dancing going
not
on.
until the end, but still. And then we listened to a support act called the Moulettes.
Moulettes, yeah.
Moulettes.
What did you reckon to them?
I quite liked them. They were slightly boring in some points, but I didn't mind them, and I thought the woman's cello had a quite interesting shape.
Yeah, no, that's almost exactly what I would have said.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them. But I not often I go and hear music and I hate it.
Yeah.
I was enjoying it, but it was all quite the same.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, there wasn't really that much difference in their songs. Whereas with Bellowhead, they do some which are slightly more slow or quieter, and then there's some that are just a lot of jumping.
Yeah. So then we got an interval, and at least one of us drank beer.
Yes.
And then Bellowhead came on.
Yes.
So yeah. So you hadn't seen them live before.
No.
So what did you think about their act?
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Didn't sort of ever think like you wanted to look away. Whereas with the Moulettes, I don't know. You sort of lost interest. Whereas with them, there was always something going on.
Yep.
Like if the John Bowden, I think yes,
Yes. The orange jacket.
yeah. If he was sitting down, then there'd be the trumpet players jumping around and doing Morris dancing.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Or a spotlight on some beer or
Yeah.
ale, as it was, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Because because they knew their new record is Revival, so they done Revive Ale,
Yes.
and we didn't actually get to drink any. But
No, because yeah,
so hang on, we had some songs we already knew.
yeah.
We had
Betsy Baker,
yeah,
10,000 Miles Away,
yeah,
Roll the Woodpile Down,
yeah.
New York Girls,
New York
London
Girls,
Town.
London Town, Whiskey is the Life of Man.
Yeah.
And we had some
New ones.
off the new album.
The Gosport Nancy and Rosemary Lane.
Yeah.
And I can't remember anything else.
So there were quite a lot.
Yeah, they.
So of the new ones, were there any new ones that strike you as being especially good?
I like the Gosport Nancy one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
And I think some of the new ones they played were just the violin, the fiddles. I like those as well.
The ones that were just tunes.
Music, no singing. Yeah, I like those ones. Yeah.
And actually, the one I really liked, which I think is off the new album, is the one about the ship, Roll Alabama Roll. Did you heard that before?
No, I had not.
Well, that's a sort of a shanty. It's it's genuinely true. There was this ship that was built in secret in Liverpool and then went off to fight in the American Civil War, and which actually fought on the wrong side of the American Civil War. But it's wrong, wrong. And did they do Under the Greenwood side? I
don't think, did they?
They did do the thing about the woman who kills her children. Although if you didn't know the song already, because I thought the only thing I thought was a shame about the evening was you couldn't always hear John Bowden's words.
Yeah, because the music was really loud, and you couldn't always hear him, but that didn't matter.
No, it didn't matter. But I think for some of the new songs, you
when you don't know the words,
exactly.
You might, Whereas,
So, what was your highlight?
Drinking some beer.
Yeah, that was my highlight. What was your highlight of the music?
All of it.
Okay.
That's the right answer.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be. I thought. I mean, was there a particular? Which was your favourite song of the ones they did in the evening?
New York Girls or London Town.
Yeah.
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 Because they were sort of more actiony and we got involved more.
Yes.
Whereas some of them it was a case of sitting and listening, whereas those ones we all joined in.
We did our pointing. How does it go? Let's do a quick rendition.
Up
to the rigs, down to the jigs, up to the rigs of London Town, up to the jigs, down to the rigs, up to the rigs of London Town. Yes, we did that, and we also shouted the end of New York Girls.
Yes.
Da, da, da. So sailor lads, take warning when you come from New York shore. You've got to be up early to be smarter than a
whore.
Thank you. Yeah. Actually, I think it's actually interesting you say that, because I thought it was a fantastic show. There was a point in the middle, I think about the time they did Under the Greenwood side, actually, where I thought this is all, the stuff off the new record is all quite similar.
Yeah.
And the point where he said I'm going to do another song about drinking, but it's not about beer, it's about whiskey.
Yeah.
And did Whiskey is the Life of Man, which is just a brilliant song.
Yeah.
And I thought that was probably half an hour before the end, and then it just the last half hour I thought were picked up. I mean, it'd been good all the way through, but that last half an hour was incredible, and they did New York Girls, and then they what did they do? Oh, they did From the Woolpile Down as an encore, did they?
Yeah, that was the encore, and they did that, and
one of the Frog's Teeth and Dragon's Legs, with dancing, because yes, I say some of the other people in the band. I saw not too long ago Sam Sweeney doing a stage sort of musical folk play, I suppose, about his violin, and it was a very serious, and finished with a film of him in a trench coat playing this violin by the grave of the man who'd made it. Yeah. Very serious stuff. And if he was there, but he was there today in Bellowhead, jumping around, playing his violin. Him and Paul Sartin, the other fiddler, sort of doing the who can get down lowest and who can get down highest. I mean, they are genuinely mad people. So you'd go to Bellowhead again?
I would.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would go again.
Good. I'm Andrew Rilstow.
Hello, I'm Cliff Billing.
And tonight we are
Folk Buddies.
And we're going off to hear Bellowhead. Hello, Folk Buddies. We're in the mosh pit at Bellowhead.
Hello.
Tell the audience where we are.
We're at Colston Hall, see Bellowhead, right at the front. We can see where the support act is just about to start. Well, just about to start in 20 minutes anyway.
And it's not too squashed?
Not yet. No black beetle pie.
What?
We're very disappointed. No black beetle pie.
Oh, well, maybe we can get some in the pub.
Maybe. Seems the sort of thing they'll do in the pub.
Dunno. Best new song of the evening.
Frog's legs.
That's not a new song, that's an ancient song. They always do that.
New song. Oh, new song. Oh, I don't know.
I thought the killing the babies came over really well this time.
Well, if you like killing babies, then that's up to you.
No, the song. So yes, our folk buddy consensus is that Bellowhead are good.
Definitely. I think they're up to their game on the actual showmanship side. So good last time I saw them.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
In what way?
Yeah. Just thought they were moving around the stage and doing things in different places. And they did like that last time, but I thought they just improved on it. That was good.
Yeah, fantastic. No, they've always been incredibly theatrical, particularly the brass section. They were mad. Anyone who chooses the pogo dance with, what is that huge thing called, a halcyon? What's the huge brass instrument that goes round in called? Is that a halcyon or something? So where are we now?
Harbour side, waiting for the post Big Bash acoustic set.
That is indeed John Bowden playing Diddly Diddly Dee in the background right now. I mean, it isn't often you go into a pub in Bristol or anywhere and chalked up on the blackboard is tonight's music Bellowhead acoustic set. We're still in the harbour side. It's about.
Still enjoying Bellowhead.
It's about. Must be well after midnight, and they're still playing an acoustic set. We just heard John Bowden singing Little Pot Stove, which I have.
And the Moulettes singing something as well.
I have to say, John Bowden. No one is going to mistake John Bowden for Nick Jones, but it was sweet. I mean, it's nice of him to sing my favourite song. One of my favourite songs. One of my many favourite songs. Was unimpressed with his second album.
Oh dear, why? Material.
Yeah, basically. But no, Chris Ricketts is he did it. I started to do a solo gig, and it's one of the best gigs I've been to in my life. He's a lovely guy. So just while we're here, just in 5 minutes, convince me that I ought to listen to Mumford and Sons.
do you like being depressed?
I like a lot of my favourite songs are really miserable songs. Actually, the one I just don't. Do you still look at my This Is My Jam? But the one I put up on This Is My Jam this week was about the people being shot for cowardice in the First World War. So I do like miserable songs.
If you like people acting like they want to kill themselves and occasionally running around and banging their head repeatedly, then I would listen to Mumford and Sons.
Is that right?
Yes.
But I mean, you got into Mumford and Sons a couple of years ago, didn't you?
I got into them when they, like, a year after they released their first. I was one of the first people to know about them.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when they had their second album, they got a lot bigger following. Now, when I knew about them, they were doing in like the really small tent venues in Glastonbury.
Right.
But then they went on to obviously the Pyramid
Yeah.
stage and all that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I know they've been on the period. I saw them.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was just thinking. So that was a couple of years ago. You were quite a young man to be deciding that what you want was suicidally depressing songs.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So
I don't know why.
no, that's good.
Bit weird, but
One of the things we often do on this is it will always end up with me saying, often with Clary coming up with a record that she likes, and me saying, well, it's quite good, but I wouldn't say it was folk music. And what I was thinking was, are Mumford and Sons and Bellowhead, could you call them both folk music? Do you think they've got things in common?
in some songs, yeah. In the because Mumford and Sons, they have the four main people, and then they have backup people who play fiddle,
Yeah.
and one person just stands there and occasionally taps a cardboard box for no reason.
You sure it's not a cajon?
It just looks like a
I
cardboard
think he's
box.
sitting on.
Yeah.
It's got a cajon.
Oh.
It wouldn't Yom in Blackbird Tea Party plays one of those.
Yes. And then yes, but sometimes yeah. But I say Mumford and Sons have gone more since they've had a bigger following, gone more into sort of alternative rock
Okay.
than
Yeah.
folk.
Yeah.
And it's just like the same with someone else I like called Ben Howard.
Okay.
He started off as folk and now he's sort of gone into more rocky stuff.
Yeah.
Like he used to just play like nylon string acoustics and now he sort of plays electric guitar a bit.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. So, but you're not yet a fully fledged folkie. You're not. You listen to all kinds of music.
To a degree, yeah. I hate heavy metal.
Yeah.
I would much rather shove a brick in my face than listen to heavy metal.
Yeah, because I would have said that, but I heard Metallica at Glastonbury and was surprised how much I liked it.
Oh.
I think anything which is being done really well of its kind and live, I think it's a different thing to go and see a live concert than to. I would never put a Metallica album on, but I would imagine Metallica did a folk song.
Oh.
They sang "There's Whiskey in the Jar," which is a proper Irish folk song.
I learned that on the ukulele in a music lesson.
Whiskey, oh good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you're learning. I bet handy. How many chords do you know?
3, I think.
Oh, okay.
3 that I can remember.
So you're about the same level as me. If it's in
probably.
if it's in C and only has strumming, I could have a go at the moment.
Yeah.
Although, so you've heard Bellowhead live, so you're going to hear Bellowhead again at some point.
Yes.
And next time you'll be able enough to come to the pub session afterwards.
Oh, yes.
Hopefully. So who would you like to hear next?
Ben Howard,
Yep.
Blackbeard's Tea Party,
Yep.
and Mumford and Sons. Well, no,
Mumford and Sons are split, haven't they?
now.
Yeah.
So no one.
So.
No one.
There should be chances to go to the Blackbird Tea Party.
Yeah.
I told you they sent me a mug.
No, you did not.
They did. We were. They had some of their people who were, they're special fans, shall we say? They sent tea bags to before Glastonbury, with the date and time of their set, so the idea that people could be giving the tea bags out around the Avalon tent, just as a way of promoting it.
Yeah.
And then all of us who volunteered to give out tea bags, so we got a mug, a Blackbeard's Tea Party mug, to say thank you, which was very kind of them. They're nice. Okay, well that's good. So I hope that you will appear as a guest folk buddy again before
Yes.
too long. There is such a thing as Skype, so it could be done. Thank you for talking to us, and yay! Basically, yay, Bellowhead!
Yay, Bellowhead. Yay.
And are we allowed to mention the horrible thing that the Daily Mirror said about Morris dancers, or is
Is it the Daily Mirror that said,
Daily Mirror did it?
said it was backing up?
Well, the Daily Mirror, not unreasonably, because they're the only Labour paper, had this picture of the Prime Minister with the I don't know which side it was, but with some blackface Morris dancers. And actually, in fairness, the front page story was something like, Cameron thinks he's a PR, he knows PR, and doesn't realise how bad this will look. But there was 2 pages on the inside going on, saying the most, saying it was historically related to blackface minstrels, which it isn't. I mean,
I'll tell you what, it's not. I said earlier on before we were recording that I agreed that it was not Morris men blacking up was not blacking up, was not a racist action, but it's a really easy way to find out that about 2/3 of your acquaintances are massive racists. Was that story? So, I feel like I'm stitching you up now because I didn't say this before.
No.
It was one of those really, really interesting Facebook topics
so what were people saying?
Basically, and none of my friends were saying this because I have very few friends because I winnow them mercilessly. But a couple of friends who are Morris dancers and things were talking about it and were saying accurately that it's not. They're not meant to be representing black faces. They're meant to be sort of disguises and things. But a lot of the people, a lot of their friends were really, really going off about how if people, we were born here, so our tradition's more important than their offence.
Yeah. No, I this is
In
so
a
many.
really fuck off back where you came from type way.
So many arguments go like this that the you realise who's on the other side who you don't want to be.
Yeah, it's the same thing I
side.
always say about whenever they talk about casting someone like your man out of Pacific Rim as Doctor Who or whatever. It's something I don't really think is a good idea from non-racist point of views, but I almost want it to happen because every time it's mentioned, a million racists go mad.
It's slightly disingenuous to say that the Morris thing is only disguise. It is, I believe, true that at the time of Henry VIII there were specific laws against blacking up because poachers blacked up to disguise themselves. It is also true that when Morris dancing started, presumably there's been country dancing in England.
After the Morris dance reboot of the 19th century.
Oh no, I didn't mean no. The Morris dance reboot of the 15th century.
Right.
The point that when a thing called Morris dancing took off in this country, there is definitely a case that it was Moorish dancing. It was imitating what we thought happened in exotic places. In which case, the fact that they might have been blacking up, in the sense of blacking up, is plausible. I mean,
and given that it again had all but died out, and then was rebooted during the Victorian thing, that means that even trying to argue that it's not blacking up is a bit bad, except for the fact that so many Morris sides that aren't full of dickheads try and actually they try and incorporate it without literally blacking up. Don't they? They're trying to kind of reclaim it a bit. Not reclaim, that's the wrong word.
Of the people we see in Morris dancers swarm to folk festivals. They're not invited, but they come. No, I'm horrible.
We've never seen a blacked up side in black face paint, I don't think, at a festival.
No.
There's been a couple of blue and red ones, I think.
I mean, the thing in the Daily Mirror's centre page story. They also got 2 pages out of the fact that someone had been to an expensive meal at the Conservative Party conference. So they're trying.
Not to mention the House of Lords thing.
But anyway, this had a. I don't think it was actually a phone in, but it was a sub article that said Morris dancing disguise, ancient pagan ceremony, or naked racism. In which the only answer is none of the above.
It can be three things.
Oh, it could be all those things. But I think none of the above. But no, why? So no, it's a tradition they could probably afford to let die. Would be not Morris dancing. Morris dancing's great, but they could probably.
And to be honest, most sides don't
Yeah.
paint their faces whatever colour, do they?
Yeah.
It's tradition. Most of them have let die.
So, do we have anything else to say about folk music this evening? So,
Oh, there you go. That's
This has been fun.
unusually speedy folk buddies.
how long have we been talking for?
Less than an hour.
Less than an hour?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there we go. And we'll be back
Another time.
another time talking about something else. Yay, folk music!